Hey, NSA Michigan, it is your president, Mimi Brown, along with what I like to call my partner in crime, Dr. Leatrice Brooks, who is our president-elect. So say hi, Leatrice.
Hello, Leatrice.
Now y'all see why we vibe so well together, because she's just as silly as I might be. But we're so excited today because we want to give you an informational about the upcoming NSA storytelling competition. Now, this is the inaugural event that's being hosted by National, but the really cool part is that we're doing one at the chapter level. So today we're going to walk you through everything you need to know on how to participate, because maybe you want to be on stage, maybe you want to be the champion, or maybe you want to come and up level your storytelling ability by supporting chapter members at the event. At any rate, we have something for you today. And so to kind of give the quick overview of the storytelling competition, this was actually a brainchild by another one of our NSA chapters. I believe it was NSA Northwest. And they held this storytelling competition within their chapter and got such great reception that they took the winners from that competition and they featured their stories live on stage at last year's Influence. It was so neat because they got on stage feedback from a CSP CPAE, Kelly Swanson. And so they said, hey, this was so popular. Why don't we do this across the board for all the chapters at NSA and make it a national thing? And so we bring to you today the NSA storytelling competition, and we're going to give you insight into what it will look like to participate as a competitor, as well as just a participant if you want to come and be an attendee and support the chapter. So Leatrice is going to tell you about next steps on how to register and what does that look like for the NSA Michigan chapter.
All right, so we have registration is open from now until February 15th, and this is registration for everybody. So whether you want to come and participate as a competitor, or if you also just want to come in for general admission and see what folks are talking about, and meet some new people, then you want to make sure that happens by February 15th. So most of our time today is going to be spent a little bit helping the competitors to get ready, but we're also going to fill in the gaps for those guests to know, like, hey, what am I going to be doing if I'm not competing? So the registration for competitors is $250. And reality is, you might be saying that's a lot of money, but you get some things with that. So even if you're not, unfortunately, the chapter winner, because we can only have one, there are still some benefits of participating. One is you get the raw video footage captured from 2 cameras by a professional videographer. You also get exposure to your peers and industry partners. So we're going to have some industry partners in the room who want to see what you're doing and want to see your skills so that maybe they can book you at a future event that they have. So rubbing some shoulders with some folks that have connections. You also are going to get some professional on stage photos, which we know that we all need for our own personal marketing strategies. And then you get feedback from seasoned speakers and industry experts, those who will be judging the competition to help us to come up with the winner. So all NSA Michigan members are eligible. Now, if you are not a member or you know someone who has a great story that they might want to tell, this might be a little bit of motivation to get your membership. So all NSA Michigan members are eligible except for CPAEs, which are our, Mimi knows what that acronym is for, but if you are not a CPAE, it does not apply to you, it doesn't matter. So all members are eligible.
I love that, Leatrice. So for those of you who don't know what CPAE means, it is Council of Peers Award of Excellence, aka Hall of Fame speakers. Yes. And in our chapter, we have numero 1. Give it up for Mr. Floyd Wickman is our only CPAE. So if your name is not Floyd Wickman, guess what? You can participate.
Yes. Yep. So that's what registration looks like. Again, it's $250. There are a bunch of stuff that you get. You get whatever the general admission gets as well. So these are some additional perks of what we talked about, but we'll also talk about a little bit later what happens with general admission.
Absolutely. Leisha, I just want to focus on the raw video footage for a minute. That is gold. I mean, just the video footage alone to me is worth $250 because it is so hard, and most of y'all know this, to capture video as a speaker. And that is really that's our bread and butter. Like when people want to hire us, they want to see you do your thing. So what a great opportunity, not only to compete in the competition, get feedback directly from seasoned speakers and industry professionals. So we'll have a mix of judges in the room, but you also go home with video and footage of you on stage. And let me tell you, we're going to tell you a little bit about the venue space. Shout out to one of our board members, Tracy Ruiz, who allowed this to happen. She had some connections for us. But even if you're not totally into the storytelling aspect of it or not as excited, get excited about the video because that can be huge.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So let's talk about, because this next slide is going to tell us a little bit more about what to expect that day, and what we're talking about when we say create a live unedited video.
Yeah, so the event is on March 30th at Urban Beat in Lansing. It is a beautiful space and venue. They host a lot of events there. They host concerts. So the sound system is pretty amazing. And it has like this funky, like eclectic flair to it, but you'll also have some beautiful footage to use based on the background at Urban Beat. Now, here's the nitty gritty details you need to know regarding the competition. You only have 5 minutes or less. So I would, if I were in your shoes, be planning on about 4 minutes and 50 seconds to give yourself, probably 4:30 if I'm being frank.
Right.
I mean, I know my name is Mimi, but if my name was Frank, I would say 4:30. But give yourself 4 minutes and 30 seconds because you can't go over 5 minutes. Anything at 5:01, you are disqualified. And when you hate that, let me tell a quick story, okay? So when I was in 10th grade, I participated in an oratory competition for my local community foundation. And I got second place. And I was so bummed because I killed the speech. I mean, it's 10th grade, right? Like I was doing my thing. One of the judges came up to me afterwards and said, Mimi, if you had stopped talking because you went over the time allotment, you talked 30 seconds too long, you would have won the competition. And that has stuck with me for the rest of my whole entire life and career. So when I implore you that if you participate, you do not want to go over 5 minutes. So when you're practicing, make sure that you make your story less than 5 minutes. You want to give yourself space and grace for people to laugh and clap or, whatever may happen, but you cannot go over 5 minutes. The other thing is it needs to be one themed story. What does that mean? It needs to have one consistent beginning, middle, and end. It can't be the combination of several stories. It needs to be one story. By the way, that one story needs to carry throughout the competition. So let's say you win the chapter competition, that same story is then moved over to the regional competition, which is then moved to the national competition. So whatever story you choose, if you win, that story stays with you throughout your whole competition experience. Mm-hmm. And then lastly, go ahead, Leatrice.
Yeah, so I want to say too, that said, it's one story, but it can get better. Right? So along the way, and this is why we have judges that are going to be giving you feedback, is because they're going to help you to refine your story and make it even better when you go to the regional competition. After regionals, you're going to get another set of mentors that are going to further help you to refine your story so that you're ready to roll for nationals. So choose your best story, tell it how you know how to tell it, and know that you're going to have some help along the way to continue refining it. You just have to choose one, but you got to stick with it for the whole entire competition.
Such a good point. And that's really the bonus. Not only do you have for the entry fee that you're getting, but to get feedback. I mean, feedback, Ken Blanchard said feedback is the breakfast of champions. And I know that will sincerely, I know for me, make me better. So what great way to get feedback from other folks. The neat part is that when you do make it to regional competition, and Leatrice is going to talk about this in more detail, you get a mentor that will help you throughout the process. So they'll look at your story, help you refine it, because at the chapter level, when you win, whoever you may be, then we send that video over to NSA National, and then they submit that for the regional competition. But in the regional competition is done 100% virtually. So they'll judge and you'll send a new video and then tweak it. And then whoever wins the regional will then move on to national. So a couple things that we want to encourage you to focus on is marketability. Is your story marketable? Is it universal enough where it has that appeal to other folks? Is it impactful? Like, does it hit a target? Does it make a point? And then lastly, what does your storytelling ability and presentation look like? Are you kind of just standing stoic, or are you animated? Like, do you feel like your audience is in the story with you? So as the judges are discerning and looking at your story and judging all of the folks in the competition, they're going to focus on those three things: marketability, impact, and presentation.
So all of the things that Mimi just talked about are across the board for every NSA chapter that is participating in the storytelling competition. Everybody has the same rules and expectations that came down from nationals in terms of how it's running. Everybody across the board who is participating only gets 5 minutes. They have to stick to the same story all the way through. They have to focus on or are going to get judged on those three specific criteria. So it's a very streamlined process and streamlined way of judging the competition. So for our participants, you're going to get recorded one-on-one verbal feedback, which is going to be really important for the winner to be able to take into as you are recrafting your story for the regional competition. And the winner, the chapter champion, is going to be selected on March 30th live at the event. So you will get to come, you will get to present, and you will have the opportunity to be celebrated with your peers. Everybody will be celebrated because I think it is an amazing and brave thing just to be on stage in front of your peers doing your thing. And I know we're all confident in what we do, but it's still a different kind of experience. And so you want to show up, do your thing. We'll celebrate everybody. The winner will be chosen. And then from there, we'll start the process for what happens next in terms of getting the winner from the chapter over to the regional competition. So what that looks like is, so there's a $250 fee for the chapter competition, but then there's another $250 fee for the regional competition. And as Mimi stated, that competition is going to be completely virtual. I believe that are there 3 or 4?
There's 3 regions. Yep.
And then the wild card.
And then the wild card, correct.
And the wild card. So there are 4 different areas. So at the regional level, there will be four people? No, 4 people. 4 people.
There's 3 regions and then the wild card.
Okay. 3 regions, wild card. So you'll go to regionals. From regionals, it will be narrowed down to 4 people, and those 4 people will be competing at nationals. So $250 for the regional competition. We will help you to submit your 5-minute unedited video. That is part of our responsibility as a chapter. So we'll help you to get your video submitted for the regional competition. We will confirm that for you that it has been done. That will be done on our end by April 3rd, which gives us plenty of room to make sure we've got it in, to make sure that they have got it, they have confirmed it has been received. And then from April through August will be regional competition and finals. And so there are more details about all of this, because if you're competing, you really want to make sure you know what you're getting into. These are general details. They're specific because we're being specific, but they're also general. So there are more specific details available on the national website that is linked on our registration page.
Very cool. And so a couple other things to mention too. So let's say, for example, that you're like, you know what, Mimi, I don't know if I want to, maybe I'm not ready yet to compete in the storytelling competition. We still want you to go. So we still want you to come and support. And for a couple of reasons. One is we want you to come support the chapter, but number 2 is you get to see people live do their thing. So that also helps you refer other speakers, refer members, get to know them. But the other bonus is you get to see someone live do their thing, and you get to see it deconstructed. So you get to hear the feedback from the judges as well. And I know whenever I'm at events, like I have 2 sets of notes. I'm taking notes on whatever I'm learning at the event, but I'm also taking notes on the style and the syntax of the speaker. Like, what are they doing? How are they moving? Did I like their storytelling devices? It is a great learning opportunity. And I will tell you, as someone who's been in this business 12 years, that your storytelling ability is the bread and butter of your speaking business, in my opinion. Your ability to tell a story and make a point, that's what people pay for. And they love for you to be able to synthesize that in a way that helps them cut their learning curve. But people don't always remember the points you make, but they absolutely remember the stories that you tell. And so as you elevate your storytelling ability, that doesn't necessarily always happen just from stage. That could also happen from being in the audience. As Leatrice mentioned at the start, we'll also have industry partners there. So we're going to have folks from MPI, so Meeting Planners International, people who, I don't know, hire a speaker. So what a great networking opportunity. We have some other surprise guests that we can't reveal quite yet, but we're also going to have a photographer there. Do you need an updated headshot? Probably so. I know I always need new photography. So not only will the photographer be there to take pictures at the event, but we'll also have limited spots available if you want to have a headshot as well. And then there's the networking. Like Leatrice, like how long have you been a member of NSA Michigan?
2018.
2018. And what do you feel like is one of the greatest benefits of being a member?
So according to Clifton Strengths, my number one strength is as a learner. It's the learning for me, right? So when you talk about being able to observe what other people are doing and get a feel for how that fits with you, what parts and pieces of things, what's the string that fits with how you like to show up as a speaker, it's that stuff. So being able to observe, being able to learn from other people, being able to connect with other people. Here's what I envision that the event is going to be like or feel like for folks who may not be participating as a competitor. That you're going to come in, you're going to see somebody do a 5-minute something. We're going to take a break. You have an opportunity to mingle, get some headshots, get a refreshment. Then we're going to do another 5 minutes, and then we'll take a break. And then you have another opportunity to network and connect with folks and maybe meet some people that you haven't seen before. One of the things we haven't said yet is for our industry partners, we are inviting their members as well. And so this will be an opportunity for you to get connected to some folks that are parts of other organizations, but still have an element of speaking or they value speakers and be able to build relationships with them too. So you come in, you engage, there's lots for you to do and ways to learn and grow as a speaker to really build those relationships. We have a number, I know you know the number. We have a good decent percent of new members in our chapter.
25%.
So 25%
Yeah.
increase in our membership. And so this is an opportunity to also meet new members because on seminar days, there's a lot of seminar presentation because we're trying to get the information in, but there's a lot of networking and social opportunity at this particular event. So I'm really excited about that because I know a number of members have talked about wanting more time to build relationships, and this is that. It's learning, but it's relationship based as well. So there's also lunch. We haven't talked about food. It's 10 to 3. Yes, we're going to feed you. That is included in your registration. So we're going to take a whole lunch break. You can do whatever it is that you want to do in the room within reason, but we'll take a whole lunch break and we'll provide lunch for you. And then we'll start back up with the rest of the storytelling and then get to the end and announce our champion.
Oh, I love that. I'm excited.
Yeah,
excited.
it's going to be a good time. Yeah.
And so, Leatrice, what is next? What else do we have to update them on?
I think just get registered.
Yeah.
I think that's it. I think that's it. If you have any questions for us, be sure to reach out online. Amy is available. She is our chapter administrator, but she also will shoot us messages if you have questions. So we'll get you plugged in wherever you need to be plugged in, but let us know what your questions are. If you have any concerns, I like to say questions, comments, concerns, and grievances, right? Whatever you got, let us know what it is and we'll fill in the gap. So we're looking forward to seeing you on the 30th.
Oh, absolutely. And one more thing, Leatrice, I forgot about is this is actually a fundraiser for our chapter. So if you just want to come out and support and to bring money back into the chapter, we would love to have you there too. So we're trying to make it's a multifaceted event. The competition, great networking with other speakers and industry partners, and it's a fundraiser for the chapter. It is a win, win, win. And I know I'll be there. Leatrice will be there. So we can't wait to see you there.
Yes. Yes. All right. So March 30th it is. I know we have a number of other events that are going on in between that in terms of seminars and online events. And we're really excited to see you. We'll see you a couple times in March.
Sounds like a plan. Well, thank you, my partner in crime. So say bye, Leatrice.
Bye, Leatrice.
Have a great day, everyone. Reach out with
Bye.
questions. Bye.